Well, hey there, thanks for stopping by. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Robbie Greer from Rusticated Art. Now, today I'm going to be doing, it's an old, it's a building that was partially or just about completely covered in vines and bushes, and it was actually across the road from where I used to live when I was living back in New Zealand. And I just came across the photo. I'd forgotten that I'd taken it actually, and I thought, well, this could be an interesting subject to draw. Now, if you haven't done a lot of drawing before, or you're an absolute beginner, go and have a look at my first 6 or 7 videos that I put out on my YouTube channel, because they're the same lessons that I teach in my classes here. So have a look, see what you think. You might find that they're very useful to help you if you'd like to learn how to draw. Now, be sure to watch this video right through to the end, because I'll be giving you lots of helpful hints and tips, things that I've picked up along my journey, and I'd love to share them with you. Are you ready? Let's get started, eh? Come on then. Well, as you can see, we've got the grid in. I've done a little bit of the outline around the outside of the trees there on the left hand side. Now I'm just putting in the main tree, just sort of in the background, and just doing it where the doorway is. Just putting all these in now, just so we can get everything in the right place, following the grids. And I'm using the cutout again, because I do find the cutout to be very, very helpful in that it keeps you in your place, or on your place, in your place. It just keeps you so you know exactly where you are. And it's just easier to do one little grid at a time. I mean, you don't have to use a grid. To me, I just find it just keeps everything in perspective, and I know where things are, because it's very easy to lose track when you're just trying to draw freehand. For me it is anyway. It might be totally different for you guys. But I always say, I use all the tools that I can find. Anything that can help me to draw the best picture that I can. And I always say to myself, every time I start a new drawing or a new sketch, or I'm going to make this one better than the last one. Doesn't always work out that way, but as long as I'm thinking it, that's all that matters to me. Put those branches and that as we go along. I mean, it's not going to be exactly the same as the drawing, as a referral photo. And what I can see, on my reference photo, it might be different from what you're looking at from your computer screen. Now, I put a little cross in there that just marks the center of that particular grid. Once again, that just helps or enables me to keep things closer to the actual drawing that I'm doing, the reference photo. A few darks. I always seem to put the darks in first, and that sort of, it's like little markers. And the way I'm drawing the foliage there in the background it's just little scribbles, little scribbleisms or squiggleisms. Fairly tight. The further away I make them a bit smaller, because it's really, if you're looking at the picture, it's just, they're like a bit of a blur in the background. Putting in a few branches and twigs, and It amazed me, this building. I mean, yeah, why for some reason the door was the only thing that was visible, really. You wouldn't have known it was there otherwise. It just looked like a bush. Grandma's secret shed. I was a bit scared to go inside. I don't know what I was going to find in there, so I didn't try to open the door. Anyway, I was only interested in drawing it, not what was in it. It was the whole place intrigued me, because I lived right across the road from there, as I was saying, and she had a nice house at the front, and then behind that she had her old house, and that was completely overgrown as well. Sheds, there was old machinery, old tractors, all overgrown. So they decided that was it. We'll just leave it where it is. Move on with the next life. Now you notice I'm just darkening the outsides of that tree. That just creates the impression that the tree is round. The darker looks like it's further back. I use my electric eraser, just taking out bits. More darks going in. See, in this particular drawing, we've sort of got like about 3, maybe 4 tones. We've got your real dark, your lights and your mid-darks, and then we've got a light, even lighter still, but I wanted it darker than the white of the paper, which is behind, further back behind, closer to the tree, where it's where the sun's sort of shining down on it. And of course we're always building layers, so I'm coming back in again, just putting some more darks in. And when you're using the blending brush in that, it does blur, it softens things up quite a bit, so it does get a bit blurry. But I know that's going to happen, so that's why we come back in again. I go over it again. And of course, the closer to the front or the foreground, the more defined the leaves and bits and pieces become. So I actually start to draw a few leaves just to bring it all forward. Go in behind. I'm using the 2B mechanical pencil here, so it's quite a dark pencil, just to make the leaves sort of stand out more. And then we merge in the grids. Merge them together. Just softly blending them. Some more leaves. See how we're slowly building it? It all takes time. I was used to always be trying to find ways to make it quicker. And it wasn't until I realised that the time is all part of the process. And I enjoy it much more now than trying to find ways to go faster. I'm using the blue tack there just to take out a little bit of the graphite to create that lighter section that's there, created by the sunlight. A few more leaves in there. It looks like I'm all over the place, but it's just part of the editing process, I think, and so I'm just trying to just slowly make things just stand out a bit more as we go. You notice these things as you go. And like I say, it's all part of the process. Taking a little bit more out there with my blue tack. And that's what you do. You put down a bit of graphite, take a bit out, blend it in, take it out. Slowly building up layers. Now I'm going to make this into probably 2, maybe 3 segments. Just so I can get as much as I can in without it being too long. And each segment's going to be a little bit different from the last one until we finally get to where we want to be. As far as the drawing goes, that is. Well, thanks for watching to the end. And I really do hope you got something out of it. And if you are an absolute beginner and you would like to learn how to draw, please feel free to go back to my first 6 or 7 YouTube videos, and as I said earlier, they're the same as that I teach in my classes, and you get them for free. Now, I decided to make this video into just smaller segments, so that you can, if you did want to follow along, you can just pause as often as you like, and it's not so long to watch, because I know sometimes it can be a bit hard just watching someone just go and scribble. You know, I get that, you know. So that's why I've made it into, it's going to be at least 2, maybe 3 segments. Who'll know? After the next one, I'll know anyway. Now, we used to call the old lady across the road Grandma, because where we lived there was four houses. There were, and on her side there was, I don't know if it was a daughter or daughter-in-law, and Tristan, he was the shepherd. He was the grandson. And he took me over there one day to have a look at the place, and I couldn't believe it, because you wouldn't have thought what was there, you know. The nice house out the front, and there's a nice house out the back too, you know. But it was all overgrown. Yeah, it was amazing. And I just thought I had to share it with you. Anyway, be sure to stay tuned for next week's segment piece, bit. And we're just going to slowly progress along till we get it finished. I don't know, it might be 2, might be 3, who knows? We'll find out when we get there. It's all about the journey. Alright, so thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed, please feel free to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. I love the comments, and I try to answer all of them. Alright? Anyway, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.